Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. We just had a slight technical difficulty attaching to the stream, but everything is good. We got new cameras, new ideas. We're coming at you quick today. Shout out to everybody here. Thank you for jumping on in. Sorry for the delay. I apologize for that. We're moving forward, though. We got you. And, yeah, may God bless you. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Shout out to everybody here on the live. We got a new camera. Shout out to everybody here. Yes, it should look way nicer, way different. Should be more like you're in the room with the lifer, baby. We even got some lighting. We're doing some side lighting. We're doing it, baby. Some dramatic lighting. You know, you ever see Nick of Time with Johnny Depp? Think about Nick of Time, you know. Shout out everyone here. Here's a shot of ginger. We're going to do the lemon water. I just cleansed the nose with some, you know, good herbs. That's ginger. That's going to burn. Ooh, but that definitely cleanses you out, keeps you feeling good. We put the lemon into the water every single morning. That decalcifies the pineal gland, gets ourselves on another level. Let's take a big sip of that. Did you work out today? Did you take care of business? Did you push yourself to your limits already today? That's the key. If you already push yourself, then you're doing good. You're going to make it to the top, baby. You're going to make it to the top. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. I might have to kind of bring it down so we can see the pocket square. I'll have to kind of be a little further out here. There we go. Shout out to my lovers of life, but I'm really liking the colors. I'm liking the way it's looking. I'm excited. This is fun. It's fun to do new stuff, and it's fun to push yourself every single day. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Love the new camera lifer. Thank you. Does everybody notice it? Does anybody notice it? It's too clear. I can see the bead of sweat. I know, right? You can see right through my face. Shout out to everybody here. Bitcoin getting a pump when lifer comes on. Who would have thought? Up $335 on the trade. Let's see where this can go. Let's find out what's going to happen here today on the stream. Today, I showed my model to the group. I said, listen, I'm already in the trade, but that's the model. Let's discuss why I trade the same thing over and over again, because it pays. It pays. So we saw a double bottom of the 1 hour, attempting a double bottom, which means we should pump at least to that resistance here. You see, as corny as that is. You know, you should just, it's just simple. You buy there, you put a stop loss here, you should get to there. That's what's supposed to happen. I'm not saying it does every single time, but that looks super crispy, man. Thank you so much. Super clear new camera. Yeah. I already had 3 winning trades done for the day, I hope. I love that. Yeah, dude, go for a walk, man, and hang. Don't push yourself. You don't need to. You did great. You're doing amazing. Sean, we love you. Sean, you're the best. You know that, right? Sean, man, I love you, Sean. Such a good man. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so thankful for everything you do for me, man. You're just, you're a blessing, bro. God loves you, man. I know that. So the 21-day moving average is above the 200. I mean, and that means we're going to get a move, usually to my blue line. Why? I don't know. I don't question these things. I just do them. You see, every single day. And they pan out. And so this is what my trading group got to at 9:32. I'm already in, but I'm watching the model on the 1 minute. And again, it's not perfect, right? It kind of comes up, comes down, but eventually this thing moved. It got very close to the target, and it very well may hit the target. I'm trading light here, but if you do that 3 times this week, you'll make $3,000, right? So people don't realize how much a little bit of money can be if they just keep going. You know what I mean? But they don't keep going. That's the thing. So I think I got to stand here. Yeah, I got to do something bold here. I'm here. So, okay, so I got to go a little more like that. There we go. And then I got to be a little more like this. Yeah. New lens, just whole new setup. So I got to find out where I got to be. Different type of framing. That's all. Got to get the pocket square there. You know, because if you have a pocket square but you don't show it, it's kind of like, why wear it? You might as well just throw it in the garbage. In the garbage. Anyway, right? So here we go. This is it. This could be a new look for me. So look, we're looking to make some money here today. And so far, so good for Bitcoin, right? We're getting a little bit of a move here further to the upside. And looking on weeks, you can just drag your stop loss where you need it. So nice and simple. And you can just drag, you know what I mean? You can just be so amazing. I really like what's happening here. And you could bring this stop. Yeah, I want to take profit. I want to, you know, whatever you want to do. Right there. We're going to go 600 for 1,800 or something like that. I think, is that the... But there we go. So let's see if we can make some gains here for Bitcoin. Up to 80. Only time will tell. A lot of treachery out here. Let's see kind of where the 5-minute is. The 5-minute did also break above the 200 moving average, which gave me some hope. But now the 21's got to catch up. The 21's got to catch up. We got to make a flag here. We'll talk about all this. We'll break it down. We'll do our top analysis. I did 2 top-down analysis for everybody last night and today. And last night I was so tired. I did the analysis. YouTube said it had a load. I sit there and forget it's loaded. Oh, man, like, it's like crazy. But I apologize. So, like, I did 2 beautiful updates. One last night, one in the morning. I did them. I swear, promise to God I did my updates for my group. And I just like somehow botched getting them to the group because they got too big. I was messing with, last night I was in the studio messing with time frames and all this other stuff. So, and when size of the video, it is what it is. Funny, beat was a nice short. I know some people were shorting that beat to the downside, man. It was beat. No. So sorry, that was so bad. Let's take a look here at Bitcoin on the monthly and see what's happening to Bitcoin on the monthly. So grateful to be alive with each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. And it's really the battle for 90K yet again. I'll tell you what, I mean, a monthly candle with 2 wicks both pushing to the downside, that's usually bearish. That's a low, it's kind of a lower high. Like, you could even make might even just make like a tiny little head and shoulder. Like, it could just kind of like roll over. Anyway, that doesn't look amazing, right? We had a chance for this to close green and really put in some work, and it's not done yet. I've seen the last 2 days of the month turn something around, right? I've seen the last day of the month. Heck, the last 5 hours, I've seen a pump. So you never know. Anything could happen. This is likely going to come back to the 21. The key is that you could take some profit on the first scalp. Only 180. It's kind of pointless, but it's better than nothing. I could do that 10 times. Thing is, I believe there's going to be a better trade there, right? So yeah, I got myself out for like 180 after fees or something. And what I'm looking for now is the actual model now. I did get in the 4 hour last night, and I could have just sat there and waited. But to me, it just looked like, hey, I feel like we're going to be able to get a nice entry here if things go well. It is Wednesday. It's after 2 days. We finally have liquidity moving the right way. It takes a couple days for the piping to get going, right? It's liquidity. So when you think about it, we had no date, no banking system. Basically, TradFi closed, or TradFi at least closed, which slows the market down. It slows everything. We're all connected. All the liquidity throughout the world is connected. 100% it is. And so I keep going over there. So there, that's why. Yeah. Okay. I'll take that. That works. Yeah. So we're looking for this to flag out. We're looking for the 21 to connect. We're looking for a beautiful flag and a nice, beautiful pump further to the upside. Otherwise, this just comes down. Could make a right shoulder and just dump on us, right? So, like, I'll take small profits whenever I can. I don't really worry about it. I don't stress it. And I don't have anything to prove to anybody. Like, that's what I learned. Like, I'm in my own little zone. I might be using a new system or a new way to look at my own new. Sometimes you look at your own system in a new way. I might be doing that, and then you're tweaking it with smaller amounts of money till you're like, okay, what if I do this? But then I'm going to eventually do it with more money on a bigger time frame. But I want to test it right now. You get scientific with it the more you've been in this. It's pretty cool. Anyway, shout out to everyone here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. We're doing our top-down analysis here for Bitcoin. Breaking it down. Okay, just wanted to make sure I was hot as the desk was at the level that I usually have it at there. So we have a swing up to swing up here on the monthly, okay? Then we have a swing down on price action. Again, hidden bullish divergence. I keep seeing it. I keep talking about it. And it's there. No matter what, it is there. And so as I keep, it's like, it's a known indicator that suggests we break this up. But at the same time, man, I got to be honest, like, there was a little bit of it here too. And fine, we got a little pump, but we never got back above key levels. See, it's all about support or resistance as well. Main area here is like, if you never get back above 102, 250, you're cooked. Like, that's like, you see? And right here too, like 96,000. You actually bring that down. So like, Bitcoin has to break back above 96K and close a monthly candle, or it ain't happening. Or we're, and so you got it. There's definitely some bearish tones, even on the bigger time frame. No matter how you want to look at it, like if that closes the month like this, and that's in 10 days, that's not going to be a good look. Personally, I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, that's going to be a bearish close for me, with a very big wick from coming from the downside. So I'm not a fan of that at all. No. We go to the weekly. Weekly is, to me, in a bear flag. That could definitely bust, to the downside and continue any moment. Crazy, you could say, well, they got all the shorts there. Well, maybe that was just the last hurrah. My thing is, it closes like this. That's going to be a tweezer top. It is. And tweezer tops are great to short. They work pretty well. You could front run the tweezer top even right now. I'd see no problem in doing that. Right? You get into a head short with a stop loss above 99.5 or even the wick there. What is it? 98,000, 98.4. I believe sneeze is coming on. I don't want to sneeze all over you. Hold on. You can fight it off, right? I picture the sneeze as this tiny object in space that just disappears in my mind. I've done that a few times, and I just make it go smaller and smaller and smaller. Eventually, I can't see it anymore, and the sneeze disappears. I've done it. I've visually done it, and then the sneeze actually, look, the sneeze did disappear. I defeated the snez. No snez. No snez. So look, that, to me, the crazy thing is, there's been so volatile, price action has been nuts. I could see them just, so like, I haven't been traditionally going for what most people do. I just been doing my model. Like today, that 1 minute played out. You take a little bit, there. You just take whatever you can, whenever you can. That's just how I've been trading. And then DCAing into Bitcoin. I got the altcoins that I believe could actually do something if we ever have a move. And I'm just done. You know what I mean? And then the money that I get now, I'm just going to keep putting into Bitcoin. And I'm looking at semiconductors. I'm looking at silver. I'm in a silver trade right now. We'll talk about that in a second. All right. But I'm trading on silver. So, yeah, things are going good. I'm excited. The silver trade is up, too. As of last night, I haven't looked at it since. I believe everything was going our way. So we will see. I'll take a look. And they got silver everywhere now. Everyone has jumped into silver. So the silver trade was up like 450 when I went to sleep. And now, sad to say, it's only up about like 200. I mean, this is, what I did is I put about 2,400. We made 18. I put 1,900 back in there. So technically, we're now up $2,000 trading silver, right? But it's taken a while. And it took a beating, actually, last night. Let's see what happened here. And I'll break it down. But look, that looks like a head and shoulder pattern. It wicked down. Was at a high of 96. Really broke out of this channel. Anyway, we'll go over silver on its own in another moment. But just kind of showing you what's happening there over at MEXC. If you want to trade a MEXC, low fees. Great place. Available in many places around the world if you want to check it out. If it's not applicable in your region, it's not everywhere for whatever reason. You could also trade on Weeks or BTCC. BTCC, one of the oldest exchanges in the game since like 2014. Always been secure. And Weeks, too. Great customer service, good people. So check them out. Those are the exchanges that I've been using, and I've been having a blast. They've been working. And, my limit orders hit like Weeks. And even I sat with Weeks. I said it would be really cool if we could be moving the stop loss up and down and having a little more access to the way we live trade. And they implemented everything that I asked. And even if they were going to do it themselves, I'm not saying I control the people over there listen. And they even used, they were like, let's incubate. Let's find out what you guys need. And they really listened to the community and to any suggestion I made. And so when someone does that, that shows that they have humility. Some exchanges come at you like, you're this and they're the, they didn't do that. They came with like, hey, let's build something great together. They realized that, the people that run that company realize that togetherness, humanity really makes things run. That's how the biggest companies get to the top. So, anyway, there's culture there, and I like that. So look, you see here what's going on with the weekly. Same time, you're very oversold, right? It's like, man, at any moment, Bitcoin could, at any moment. And this is why I keep stacking Bitcoin spot, because if we come down here, I don't sell my spot. I just go underneath a little bit on the spot, but I have so much Bitcoin I bought way before that I'm winning. And then I just buy Bitcoin all the way back down to, anywhere to 45. I will buy Bitcoin from 38,000 to here. I will buy Bitcoin from here. I'm willing to go down to $38,000 if I ever get that lucky again. Like, Will Bitcoin ever really be priced a third lower with institutions gobbling up the supply? I just, seems to me like there is a serious supply shock coming. I think that's what people should be focused on. But again, the supply shock for Bitcoin. There won't be a supply shock for silver and gold. There's an abundance of silver and gold on the earth. Trust me. The earth is huge. We have barely tapped into all the resources here. Watch what happens in Greenland. We'll find so much gold. It'll be, I'm just, underneath that ice. Roll that dice, baby. Underneath that ice, baby. Let's go. Sorry. Don't do that. No. What are you doing? I don't know. Whatever they think I'm doing. I don't know. Don't have this conversation out loud. I know. Okay. Wait, was everyone listening to that? So, quick, do the thing and yeah. Maybe you'll make it up. So look, 3-day chart looks beautiful to me if it can hang above the 200 moving average. 3-day chart looks, okay, but if it can stay above the 200 moving average, that would be a beautiful thing, right? It would be like, oh my God, that's the hopium copium. That this was a fake, a bear trap, a bull trap. This was a bear trap. And then eventually, and they've done that. They go wink, wonk, wink, right? Why not? Why not fake it both ways and get as much sauce as you can out of everybody? Wouldn't you? It's maybe you wouldn't. You're probably a good guy. Me too. I wouldn't want to hurt it. But you know what I mean? Once you're in an exchange, or once whatever the liquidity, and again, that might not even be, everyone thinks it's them, and I even say it. But it's really just the way the liquidity works. It's just liquidity. And look, good thing I got out of that trade, right? See what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't win a lot, but sometimes you don't lose either. Taking a small gain is better than sitting there. Look, I would have been down. I don't like being down. So anyway, we're below the 200 moving average on the 3-day. If that closes tonight, that's bearish. Okay? That's a bearish close. We've done it before and made it up. I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world, but it's not the best. And then here we are on the daily. And to me, the daily has to get back inside, right? It's got to get back up in there. I guess some could say, this is the trend line, Sam. And we're actually still holding. And it's okay. And we bounce, there's nothing wrong here. But I don't know, man. That could be the last resort. This could be the last resort for me. But to me, this was the trend and you're outside. For me to get bullish again, I'd have to say we have to get back inside this trend line. This candle would have to zoom up and close inside of here or the next daily candle. At least we're starting a tweezer bottom today, and that could give us a reversal. But I'm definitely not, I'm definitely more bearish than bullish now for Bitcoin. To me, we fell out of this flag. And you got to get back in good graces now. Rejection by the 200 moving average. Rejection by the 200. We eventually previous support as resistance. We wanted this. Oh, man, it was so... They built a good picture for me. I'll tell you what. It was support and resistance. Looked like we could get the move. Also did say, hey, if we lose the 200 moving average on the 15, we'll dump. And we did. So my signal stands clear. You lost the 15-minute 200. Even right here, we made a bear flag. That was a beautiful bear flag. And that's the signal too. It's the 21 above the 200 inside of the consolidation. And, now we are attempting to double bottom and get back. The key is the 15-minute has to get back above that 200 moving average. I'll flip it, So anyway, let's get back to the 4-hour time frame. So the 4-hour time frame, tweezer bottomed. Even the 8-hour did a tweezer bottom, and it's battling its 200 moving average. So just like when you're bullish, if you're really bearish, you're going to stay above, on the other side of this 200, and the 21's going to come in while you consolidate. You see? So if you're super bearish, you're just going to kind of do this while the 21 comes. And then once you hit the 21, you're going to dump. It's very simple. I've seen it many times, and I'm not saying it's 100% likely, but it's like 97 that this is what's going to happen if we're bearish. If we're bullish, somehow this is going to rip back up. We're going to hang. You see, and you're going to get back above this previous support as resistance and, turn 91, 150 into an area of a bounce. So, that's why you could just, for me, it's like, there might be a nice swing trade here to break out. If that happens, or this is the trade here. Anything else is like, I'm skimming the top. So we'll see. I like the volatility. We just went from like 89.7 back to 90,000. That's good. I like when we're moving. Price action, I remember days when we would wait for it. Price action would sit. And at least there's some volatility today. And it will get better next week. And as the year progresses, the volatility will progress. And we'll get some big pumps some days. We'll get some big dumps. It'll come. There'll be ways to make money both up and down. I may not short as much as you, but I'll teach you how to short the market. And for years I did. For years and years I shorted and long the market. So rejection by what is that? The 4-hour 200 moving average. Interesting. And what looked to me, 1 hour did a bit of a double bottom. See, like it kind of higher low, almost a cup and handle. But wow, price action looks a bit odd, right? So like break out of this channel, complete this double bottom, come back up in here. That's kind of what we're looking for, right? And then I just look at the 15-minute. You start seeing how can this happen? Well, because it's about flags, consolidation, and moving averages. So the idea is we're either going to flare up real quick and short squeeze out of nowhere, which I could see, or we're going to make a nice little flag here on the 15-minute that could take a couple hours. Reconnect to the 21 and actually get a move here to the upside. Your chances double bottom does stand. I've seen a double bottom on this time frame turn out to be the bottom for a long time. So Bitcoin, if we're looking for a long today, I'm looking for this to go sideways on the 15-minute time frame. So what I do is I then kind of go, and then there's a chance that this 5 minute still does play out. Again, here's the model. You want to consolidate with the 21 above the 200. You want to stay patient. This is trading. Trading isn't really putting in the stop loss, this and hitting the button. Trading is drawing this and waiting and sitting and having it on your mind consciously while you're doing something else or while you're learning. I could be vacuum cleaning the bottom, vacuum clean. Yeah, sometimes I vacuum clean my studio, keep it clean while I'm watching a trade. You know what I mean? Could be working on the studio, researching a new camera. You know what I mean? There's always something to be doing, progressing. Could be writing a script. Could be working with AI. Could be asking AI what I should be doing better. You can have conversations with AI every day. Hey, AI, here's me. Tell it all about yourself. This is who I am. This is what I do. How can you help me? What could I do better? What am I doing wrong? How could I, is there places in my life that I could be creating more, basically creating more, producing more? AI will make you a better person in some ways, I think, if you don't get too crazy with it, but it can help you. It can say, hey, let's help you. You can organize your schedule. You can say, I have problems organizing. Could you help me organize? You'd be surprised, man. You can use AI in so many ways. I believe China going to take over crypto. Look at the new coin memes. All Chinese. Trading like this is being a predator. Exactly. You get replies soon enough. God bless everybody. Yeah, you watch, you pray. When it's right, you engage sometimes 10 minutes after hours of waiting. Yeah, 100%. Exactly. It's like a snake, or like kind of like, like the tiger waits and he watches and he watches. He knows one movement could end it all. That's how it feels like when you trade sometimes, right? Oversold. Let's see what we can do. Chance that the model does play out here. We get a move back to 92K. You never know. Yeah. Touch grass if you're having conversations with that. I'm seriously, though, I sit with my mind. Back in the day, I said, how can I make things better? What can I do? How can I work harder? What can I do? And today, it's like, I know I should be using AI to maximize my potential. And I know AI can only help. And if I'm not, I got to be real with myself. It can think faster. It can analyze my situation. Now, of course, I can think for myself and help myself, but I can always use some help. Imagine these kids in high school and college now. It's so crazy. They could do whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? They could do absolutely whatever they want. Yeah, if you want to look crispy and amazing, I'm going to give my secret away. Get yourself the Sigma. All right? I think it's about $600. It's worth every penny. A Sigma lens. This lens right here. This is the lens I'm on right now. The Sigma 16. This thing is so nice. And you know what it mounts to? It mounts very nicely to the Canon Mark II M6, which is an older camera. It's like a 5-year-old camera. But it shoots 4K. It does great. It's really not even about the camera. It's about having a good chip, a good sensor. And so, yeah, I'm not webcam, and I'm using, this is my setup right now, something like this. I've got an M2 Mark VI with the Sigma lens. Yeah, I mean, you got to do it right. Why not? Why not? Why not? So we're looking for this here. The twightness. Keep it twite. Twite like a Twigo over here. But like, you know, we're looking for this to kind of stay in a nice flag. I'm looking for my, you know, otherwise, and that's why I like what we're doing here, because if this just decides to collapse, then you just know that the bulls didn't have a chance. Wasn't going to happen anyway. These are the smallest time frames, so this is the first thing that will happen if you're getting a big move. You'd be surprised how much of the move can come from this little area, though. You see what I'm saying? And it's boring. It's not easy. I do the same thing day out and day in. The discipline, the discipline, the discipline. The setup, the projection, the weight. The setup, the projection, the weight. The setup, the projection, the weight. And it can be monotonous. It could feel like time is dripping. But that's trading. You know, no one told you it was going to be easy. Nobody told you it was going to be this hard. Okay? Let's get back to the start. Let's get back to the start. Nobody said. It's 2 a.m. last night. I'm going to take a shower. I left my phone playing on Apple Music. The song comes on. Nobody said it was easy. Nobody said it would be this hard. Love that song, man. Got me going. You know, we're touching the 21. We're above the 200. I'm willing to kind of double up for the win here. Let's see. I like 330 for 9. I like 368 for a G. Let's see, though. Let me, right now it's high risk if I jump in. I get more sideways price action. I get better confirmation, but I don't get a better price, though. Tough trading right now, too, though. Like, market is definitely, and see, if I'm more spooked than normal than everyone else is, it just shows you there's less volume because more people would just be clicking. There's less people clicking in right now. There's less finger clickers right now. You know what I'm saying? When you just break it down. So I'm gonna wait. I'm like, I almost jumped in there. And I haven't live traded in a couple days, right? Because the market's been. I guess I've been in the trading group. I've took some trades there. I guess that's quote unquote live trading, but not really. We're very oversold in the Stokes. We've gone sideways, 21 touching. I'm going to make the play. And I always limit in. See, I got the limit. I haven't asked about this partial thing here. I just delete it and move it to where I want it. Because I'm like, I don't want partial. I want to do what I got to do. But this is so responsive. Look at this. This is like, shows you exactly what you're going to make right there. Exactly what you're going to lose. Look at the information. I mean, when I get information like this, I can really make it happen. If I lose, then I'm down 180 or down what? 200 on the day. So let's see. I made a live trade. Let's get back. We did a top-down analysis for Bitcoin. We're at 90,200. Let's see. I barely got any drawdown. There's a chance this goes right in. I mean, look, I'm the king of 3%. Nobody makes 3% more than me. Over here. I'm telling you, man. You've never seen someone make 3% so much. And here we go, man. Maybe this is the ride of a lifetime. Watch me make $1,000 $1,000. I've been listening to too many people from UK. Dollars. If you have US dollars, they love saying dollars. They love saying it. I swear. They're like dollars. They love hearing themselves talk dollars. So do we in America. But, you know. You ever jump into small long solely on the basis that something is extremely oversold? Seems like it would be a terrible idea after yesterday. I've done many things, you know. You're like, well, yeah, I mean, it's beat up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but no, I just do kind of what the, you know, I used to do stuff like that, but now I just kind of do what the thing tells me to do. At the end of the day, too, look, I mean, there was your cup. There was your Sammy cup and handle. Isn't that crazy? It's just, that's how it happens. So look for the cup and handle on the 5 minute, on the 1 minute. Let it be your guide. It could teach you so much. You can bring, that's why they call me Sammy Cup and Handy. Ah, now you get it. There's always a cup and handle there, boys and girls. Seriously, though. There's always something brewing behind the scenes. The moving averages tell you the story. You got to read the pages of the story to see what's happening. I'm the one reading the book to the kids every day. Come around. I'm messing with you guys. But seriously, no, it's like, get the story every day. Read the messages in the technical analysis. Look, previous resistance. Can we use that as support now? Right? We got this resistance. Can we bounce off of 89,900? Looks like we may. So, in 2 seconds, this could dump in a second. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I'm just playing probabilities that I've looked at in my life. I always say never call me a genius when I win. Don't call me a loser when I lose. It's just another day in my 20-year data set. You could see a 7-month period where I'll lose every day, which hasn't happened, but you could see it. And that could still be offset by some of the biggest wins I've made in my 20-year trading career. You know what I mean? And you could see a year where I just seem like I can't lose. Seems like every time I touch it, it goes up. You know, every time I make a trade, I just boom, boom, boom. There's been weeks here where I've won almost like every trade I've touched for a few weeks straight. It looks like I can't lose. And there's been a couple weeks where like I've lost 3 games. You know, I think one of the worst times, I think I lost 4 or 5 live trades straight. Like it was just like a Monday, a later on a Wednesday. And just like, then you're like, it's kind of like someone who does performing and like somehow it just didn't go right every time. You're like, man. But you know, anything can happen in trading. You're putting probability out there. So I just studied what I think is the best probability, and that's what I do. I traded your model on the NQ this morning and absolutely ripped. Like Sammy says, it works on any asset. It really does, man. You could do whatever you want. I don't see any reason to trade any other way, but you do. But I always teach people, do whatever makes you happy. You know, people are convinced other stuff works better, or they marry it. They just marry it in their mind, and now they're so deep in it, they can't get out. Look, this double bottom is supposed to play out. And again, everyone's like, trade my model, but I also just trade the science. Like, this is a double bottom. It's supposed to break back up to 91.6. That's all. Nothing crazy about it. Let's take a look at that NQ and see what he's talking about here. And we can show you what he means. So yeah, right there. I mean, exactly. It crossed the 200 moving average and touched the 21. This was the first entry right here. Right there. It was telling you that's a great place. It also was a rising wedge. But then you could even have played this puppy, right? I mean, it's kind of a falling. It's the 21 above the 200. That thing is gone. But the crossing of the 200 moving average and putting the stop, look, it doesn't go below again. And the stop loss is saved. You get in here, you put the stop here, and you ride, baby. This thing is still ripping. NASDAQ, usually that will flow into BTC. I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin gets a pump maybe tomorrow or into tonight. And I told you that the NASDAQ is likely going to continue to rip. Like, I just don't see how it, look, I would open this, I just see it just continuing to do damage. You know, put the stop like maybe below 28.5. I feel like the NASDAQ is going to rip. Dipped a little bit, came right back up. It ate through any dip. They're printing money. So much money. And they made, you know, Jerome Powell has one last chance not to cut the rates. He's going to do his thing, and then it's done. Then he's gone. We never have to deal with it again. I'd say good riddance, but God bless him. You know what I mean? Everyone deserves a life. But man, I'm going to be excited when he's gone. I'll tell you that. You know, I think it's going to be interesting. Trust me, the dollar will eventually lose more and more value over time, no matter what. That's just what happens. They print the dollar to zero. Okay? 97% of its purchasing power since the early 1900s. The dollar has continued to go down. I started buying gold and silver. I didn't get into Bitcoin because I thought it was a new tech. I got into gold and silver because I didn't want to have my money being printed anymore. I was sick of getting paid a paycheck for printed money. I saw everyone else just taking the money, putting it in the bank account, using it like it was okay. And I started looking at the dollar. I said, this isn't okay. We can't do this anymore. I said, this doesn't make sense. I can't keep getting paid in something they're printing to zero. Like, why? That doesn't make any sense. Does it make sense to you? Does it make sense to me? No. Not at all. Not in any way, shape, or form. So when I started reviewing the idea here, I said, okay, what can I do to get myself out of the rat race? So remember, everyone thinks I'm a trader. My story is so much different than a trader. I'm a guy who chased finance, history, education every single day. I researched billionaires and multimillionaires. I found out what made them tick. I tried to figure out what they were doing, who they were, what brought them to the table, and what separated them, how they got to the 1%. Why is someone in the 1%? Why is someone driving a Bentley? Why is someone driving and maybe giving away? They may give away twice as much as that car a year or more and still drive the nicest car you've ever seen, you know? How come some people have it all and some people don't? You know, what is it? And that's kind of the, in my mind, I was always like, okay. And so I studied people. You know what I noticed about the most successful people in the world? You know I always say, getting started. But you know one thing I did notice again, too? They were on their own path. They never lived for somebody else. Never. Never lived for someone else. You know what I'm saying? Never did, never, you know what I mean? Never lived for someone else. They were on their own path, and they went their own way no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And that was it. And they didn't stress what other people thought of them. They just kept moving. Some days I close my eyes and I picture a life 3 or 5 years from now. My channel is even bigger, 500 to 1 million subscribers, 1 million subscribers. Why not? Let's go to 2 million, 2.5 million subscribers in 5 years. I've now traveled the world. I've been on Patrick Bet-David. I've been on Joe Rogan. I've been on all sorts of podcasts. And I envision a bigger life where I touch more lives and talk to more people and travel to more places. I envision that. You are whatever you envision. Continue to envision. Continue to dream. Where are you going to be in 5 years? What car are you going to drive? Where are you going to live? What is it going to look like when you open your door and look out? What view do you want? Dream big, baby. Put these thoughts in your mind. Keep telling yourself that you're on your way to greatness because you are. God has a great plan for you. God had such a beautiful plan for me. I had no clue what God had planned for me. I didn't know God had this channel waiting for me like this when I was 25, 26, 27. I'm older than most people that have a channel like this. But you know what? God had a plan. And I trust in God's plan every single day. I put my faith in the Lord. And I say, bring me, show me, lead me. I don't know where I'm going. I don't have a boss. I don't show up to work, so no one tells me where to be. Last night I was up till 2 a.m. That's the problem. I'm usually not. I'm usually good, and I usually take care of myself. Sometimes you mess up. But, my point is, I just believe. I believe with open faith that time, over time we'll make it. I just got faith. This is eventually, they're going to just print too much money, and the NASDAQ's going to get too tight. You're going to get a rip up to that $29,000 area, Yeah, continue to inspire. Where's your Joe Rogan? I'll link my Joe Rogan episode because it's coming. S&P futures doing the exact same thing, right? Oh, they fell out of the rising wedge though, which is interesting. So let's reassess that. I wanted to see that stay up, but I still see consolidation. It's actually an even bigger rising wedge, it is a bit, it's scary when I see things get that high, right? Because you're like, well, what's going to happen? You know, it's like how much, like, I mean, it's like a straight line of implosion. But when you print money like this, it just, to me, they could just simply keep doing this. I mean, you just keep printing. That's what happens when you print money, folks. This is inflation. This is inflation. They tell you inflation doesn't exist, but this is when you print 80% of the circulating supply since 2020. 80% of the supply since 2020, folks. That's not that's real. That's going on. That's what we're doing here. It's insane. It's insane. You know, you had that crazy dippage. You came back up. We called that bottom. If I don't remember what we did, that bottom too. See, I would just look for consolidation, like big boy consolidation now. You see something like this. And yeah, I keep getting this May and June. I don't understand. Same thing with the altcoins. Every time I did a long-term analysis on multiple different altcoins, I kept getting this May and June. Like something's happening in May and June. So a Big Mac would be $20 in 10 years, probably way more than that. Try 1150. Tightness right here, though. Can we get all the way back up to $7,500 for the S&P? 7,500 S&P. I mean, that would be the target somewhere by, I'd say, July. That's a long-term analysis for the S&P. So Bitcoin, let's take a look at what happened here. Trade went flat, sideways, could turn into a right shoulder and just dump. I haven't liked the trading environment on the scalps recently. Scalping has been a little You know, it's been tight. Last night was two really good scalps on the 1 minute that played out. I was able to, show them to the group. Sometimes and that's the thing about the group. Some days I'm not telling you, hey, buy this right now or do this. I am not a financial advisor. I don't think I say you should be taken as such, right? And I'm never going to go over your portfolio, tell you what to buy or sell. I don't do that. I'm not doing that stuff. But what I will do is I'm going to say, hey, look at this. Look how the 21's touching here. And I just want you to watch it. Look, see, that looks like, see how I can see the head and shoulder there? It looks like shoulder, head, right shoulder. Dump down. Take me out for 370. You know what I mean? Defensive driving. If I go there, then I'm still up $50 if they take me out. Which is crazy, right? I don't trust the market right now. I don't want to give it 370. I'm not willing to give it my money. You see? What if it dips down and then rips? Okay, so what? But don't trade how I trade, please. You got to have your own kind of style, your own sense of where you're at and why you're doing something. I really don't. That right shoulder tells me it looks like it's going to plow down to the 200. I'll be pleasantly surprised we get this bounce off this 21 right now. The 21, if we're bullish, we should get held right here by this white line. See? Down to the science. We should bounce right now back up. If you're breaking the white line's bearish. It doesn't make sense. But if you're bullish, you'll break that white line. You'll pop above it, right? I see kind of shoulder, head, right shoulder vibes that tells me we could be coming right back to the 200. We'll see. There's a little liquidity in there, and we're breaking through that low now. 90K is very psychological. We hold 90K, people believe. We lose 90K, everyone sees 70,000. It's like, you know? And see, to me, I also like a clean setup that's supposed to do exactly what it's supposed to do. This setup is supposed to do this and break out clean. It's not supposed to play this game here. Anyway, let's take a look here what's happening on CoinMarketCap. Go to Crypto Rank as well. And take a look at the trending coins. Funny, Lagrange always on my radar, but the top 20 coin search of the last 7 days, Lagrange, Swarm Network, Certic, Funny, remember Certic? That was, it was like a contract checker. It basically, in a balance sheet, it would basically, you could use Certic and they'd say, okay, your project's legit. Caspa back at 4 cents. Baldex, Uniswap, Virtuals Protocol, still people paying attention. Stellar, Cardano, Midnight, back at 6 cents. People got excited about that. I did not. I knew not to get excited. And I love Cardano. I don't want to be real. I sound like such a Debbie Downer, man. It's crazy. I do, but Monad, that had potential, was one of the newer coins. Egan Cloud, Genius, Ondo Finance back at 34. It's like, whoa, right? I'm so happy I sold. I sold so many of these coins. And I don't know if you remember when I sold them off, but man, 99% of these coins aren't anywhere near where I sold them off at. And that was like, oh man, a little bit in November and some in October. Oh man, a little bit more too. Some a little bit in August, but and it's not like, I still have enough to believe what if something happens, we could go. But it's tough. It's a tough market. If you're still believing altcoins, put a 333. If you're still accumulating altcoins, put a 333. Funny, memes will continue. People are doing anything they can to continue the memes. Look, there's a Chinese meme there. Someone was talking about there's another Chinese meme. This is what he was talking about. He said all the memes are Chinese. I see what he means now. Because I never really saw that. So, yeah. Hey, it can happen. Got the secret airdrop for having the Solana phone. That's pretty cool, man. Shout out to Reliable J for staying in the game. And getting the Solana phone, man. Props to you, brother. I didn't trade like the lifer either. But I don't... Interesting. Shout out to Chris Gross, man. I love you, brother. Yeah. Look at this guy. No arguing. You see what I'm saying? I don't have to listen to anybody, and I don't have to take any sauce from anyone. Like, if tomorrow I could decide I never want to trade again, I just want to teach for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? I'm probably not ever going to do that. I love trading, but you know what I'm saying? I do whatever I dream of. As long as I'm helping people, I'm spreading positive energy, and I love what I'm doing. It doesn't matter what anybody says about me. My mom always said, what they say about you is none of your business, Sam. You just keep doing you. And I said, you're right, Ma. Thank you for putting things into perspective for me, honey. My mom was always the best, my best cheerleader and my best friend. And she's still with me every day because she was, I had a good mom, so she told me so many things, and she helped program my subconscious mind. My subconscious mind has my mother built inside. She was there for me. That's the beautiful thing about having good parents, right? Is they're never really leaving you because they built a brain. They built their brain inside of yours. They've helped you. They've developed you. You've developed with your parents, right? They've taught you so much. 15-minute could still possibly get the sauce, but it looks like it's going to take a lot longer, maybe a couple hours. And the Wednesday's starting to feel more like a Thursday and more bearish as well. Right? And again, if the 5-minute loses that 200 moving average, then you start to dump, and then, So right now, we're seeing what can happen. Well, I'm not telling you what's going to happen. Remember, there's a difference, right? Yeah. The only answer to is my mom. Yeah, I sold my oil meta games out of Pyramid. I sold my oil meta games out of Pyramids. I don't even know what that is, but God bless you, man. Someone says, can you look at XRP? Let's take a look at XRP and see what's happening to XRP. All right. XRP. The banker's coin. Remember back in the day, the banker's coin. It's still oversold, hugging 195. Let me do the best and, the most open analysis I can on it. I have to tell you something that's a bit odd. Like, say that could be a shoulder, that could be a head, that could be a little incy shoulder. I know no one wants to see it like that, but that's possible. Does that XRP to 35 cents? Does the altcoin market just absolutely just turn into something that never was? I think it's looking like it's possible, right? I mean, again, maybe not, though. I'm open-minded. I still got probably too many altcoins to say. But has there ever really been a Chinese meme market? They love tongue-in-cheek. This one looks hot. You're funny, man. they had Pay, right? That thing was hot. Okay. OMG, crypto coin, oil metal games. The graph is crazy. Oh, wow. Yeah, I had never heard of it. To me, OMG, Omacy Go is when I see OMG. Omacy Go. You know, when I look at the weekly, I could say, hey, it's still under this area, and it even has like what looks to me like a descending triangle. People are like, dang, man, this guy's super bearish. I'm out of here, you know? But you know, you never know. I mean, there's a bounce, possible bounce there, and a resistance. What, 216? We want to get a bounce back to the upside. For me, like, I wouldn't really be trading XRP long unless it gets back above 220. I want to see it hold weekly support there. You know what I'm saying? You know, maybe you're double bought. I mean, there's always a chance, but man, Bitcoin slumps off and breaks down. Like, you're going to revisit this 200 moving average, and you're, look, down, up, down, lower low, lower high, lower low. I don't know. It just seems to me like as the candles close, you keep making lower lows. Expect the lower and lower highs. It's in a downtrend. And the trend is your friend. Am I wrong here? I don't know. You tell me. I just try to show you what I'm seeing. You know, you have a wick on the weekly. There's a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance. There's a daily candle here. Is this what people are getting really excited about? They're like, oh my gosh. It's kind of a cup and handle. It's funny. It had the Adam and Eve already. It's kind of made it 60% of that. 12-hour, 22, both attempting a green. You look for the 1 hour above the 200 moving average, you know. And then you assess the situation like, you know, this has to come back to the 21 and hopefully hold some type of support and then continue up. So like I'd watch your 1 hour, then see how that moves in. But price action's a bit sketchy right now. Unless I really wanted to hold something for 4 years and I'm willing to DCA into it, I wouldn't touch it. Yeah. Like it's very sketchy. We need a last soldier. Yeah, Grant, OMG is a rocket nonstop. You guys, I mean, yeah, see, I get oil metal games. I get, oh, here it is on Pancake Swap. How could it have $1 trillion market cap? That's insane, right? Yeah, I think that's yeah, I'm out. You guys are ridiculous. So anyway, so silly. I can't even. If we don't get an alt season, I think alt's never going to come back after this. You know, there's always going to be a project and an idea that people will believe in. You know what I mean? But maybe they're probably better off making it into a stock or something like that, just because, you know, that's going to be. It's just going to make more sense, right? And it's going to give it a better like public view. So shout out to the. You know, over thousands of people here on the stream today. Thank you for pulling out and showing up every single time. Thank you for pulling up. Oh, my gosh. Thank you for pulling up and showing up every single day. I really appreciate that. It's an amazing experience to live stream with each and every one of you, and I appreciate it. So, and you never know, you know, what's going to happen over time. I just put my best foot forward and keep pushing. The total market cap in all of cryptocurrency started looking like it may get a move here. Slump back down. It's like, and yeah, you know, I'm the bearer of news, but it is Greenland, right? Greenland says, oh, we go back and forth with this, but Greenland is a topic because it creates the idea that, okay, people are going to flow into gold and silver because they're like, you know what I mean? It creates this fear in this movement. We get Greenland taken care of. We can get back to Bitcoin pumping, you know. So, pulling up to the stream, you know. Thank you for your work, man. God bless you. I see the pyramid there. Interesting. And as you can see, like no channel sponsors here too, man. Just Crypto Lifer. You know, we speak our mind. We say what we want. And if we're aligned with the right product by any means. But right now, you know, we just like, we're doing our thing. The space matured. People realized a lot of these coins were just hype. Bunch of announcements of joint ventures that never materialized into profit. Yet too many people use crypto as their like, we're going to do something type of game. You know what I mean? Everyone was a founder. Everyone was a helper. Everyone was a dev. But and nobody was anything. You know what I mean? That's the problem. So honestly, like, shoulder, you know, you kind of need a Hail Mary here. And you need a bounce sooner than later. You really do. And that's just an American term for a football. And I mean, I guess I shouldn't, you know. You never know. I never want to offend anybody. Can you take a look at Sui, please, Sam? We'll take a look, yeah. And let's take a look, too, back at the fan funding and see what you people are saying. So there's a beautiful shoulder head. Can we get the right shoulder? We are oversold. Come on, baby. Come on. Let's look at that 3-day 200 moving average. Are we still above it? We're hugging it. We're just barely there. But you know what? We're still above it on total 3. All coins are just hanging on. I'm telling you, as long as we can stay above this yellow line, that could be the greatest price ever in the history of altcoins. It's insane. So, like, I'm not going to panic sell my $130,000 bag of Solana. You know what I mean? And people are going to look at me like I'm crazy. Like, why would you not sell your Solana right now? You're going to lose 130 grand. Yeah, hey, it's either a couple mil or, you know, it's either a mil or it's 130, you know, it's 60 grand. Like, what? Like, so there you go. I'm taking a shot. All right. Someone said, can we look at Alchemy Pay, ACH? Yeah, it was actually somewhat interesting. Even just, I think 5 or 6 days ago, I was looking at it. I like the USD pair on Coinbase. Whenever I'm looking at it, oh, wow, I got pummeled. Oh, yeah, I took these. Funny, you could see it just like someone was using cash grab, you know, and it bounced off these levels. Then it lost that level. Wow, now it's in the dooms. But it has been pumping from where it used to be. I mean, from its new low. Wow, 7 cents to, or less than 7/10 of a penny to a penny and 2/10 of a penny. But that's 7 to 12. I don't even really want to look at this thing. I never own any. Did I ever? I might have bought it once. I might have swung traded or something, but you know, it looks like it may be on, you know, it's attempting to do something. I don't know, man. So many coins are just stepped on so bad. They're just, like same story. Like, you know, okay, fine. I see what you're saying. Hold on. Let me change my story. You know, it is above. It's, you know, okay, so I'm seeing someone. I think this is what you saw. So, hey, say the total 3 holds that 3-day 200 moving average. You know? We're the last people here, everyone. You know that, right? Like, we're the last soldiers standing on the front line. Like, everyone else has been annihilated. Nobody else is showing up like we are. No one else is as strong as the community as the lifers. Nobody gives a dang anymore. But you know what? There's always opportunity to the people that keep pushing. I know that. I believe in it. And I can see it, you know. Do you look at individual stocks? If so, what ones do you like? Honestly, just starting to kind of get back into that. I used to trade stocks all the time. Alt season got crushed. Bienvenido amigos. It took so much liquidity out the markets. Unfortunately, it also turned a lot of people off to crypto. That's the thing. That's the first thing they got connected to, and it was like, you know. Thought I was hurting, still buying a few a month. There you go. Shout out to Cesar Cordero. We love you. Much love to the lifers. God bless you, man. And shout out to the awesome people here. Crypto Flow. Shout out to everyone on the live. Let's take a look here at the fan funding and see how it came in. Reliable J. Got to test the super chats with the new camera. Love you. Thanks, man. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Made 1,100 in and out in 30 minutes, just like you taught us, Sammy. Pay the trader. In and out, baby. Sammy, you the man. God bless you, bro. I like it. And you probably got a pump at the gym while you did it. Go to the gym, bro. I traded your model on the NQ this morning. It is absolutely ripped, like Sammy says. It works on any asset. Thank you. Lifer, thoughts on FARTCOIN? Do you look at individual stocks from Stock Junkie HQ? Let's take a look at your thoughts on FARTCOIN. So, yeah, Alchemy Pay is getting tight. Looks like it actually may break out and move to the upside there. But on the bigger time frames, it's like very, very low, right? You're trading like the bottom of the barrel there. But, hey, okay. Let's look at SWE for my man here. SWE, baby, SWE. Wow. SWE looked promising. Dumped with Bitcoin, got rattled back to 149. These altcoins are treachery. And even SWE was the one that looked like it could actually maybe do something. I was looking for this flag to consolidate. Let's take a look at the bigger pictures. Man, altcoins have been tough. I don't post a lot of altcoins recently. You know, I'm cautiously just looking at it, you know, a few things here and there. I'm DCAing into BTC long term, you know, and I'm looking at other places for possible opportunity. So, and on my weekly screen share, I'm teaching you guys exactly what I'm doing. All sorts of stuff. We talked about Airbnbs last week. We talked about how to find cash flow and, you know, what I did. You know, you can buy real estate in many areas, but there's certain areas where the real estate's going to make you even more money. And there's certain more areas where it's basically, I'm not going to say untouchable, but it's more likely that it's going to be insulated from a lot of the market stresses. You know, if you buy the right areas, how do I know this? You know, my dad was my dad wasn't big into real estate, but he read a lot. He paid attention. And I saw how observant he was. And I think he was able to pass some of that observancy or whatever, his observant nature, onto me. And so, like, and again, you can acquire these skills if you didn't have a dad that told you this stuff. Just pay attention. Where do rich people go? Where are rich people buying? Where do rich people spend their money? You know, look at like the Hamptons. Look where people, you know, high-end areas in Connecticut. Look at, you know, there's beach communities, like, you know, and you say, I could never afford those. Well, set your standards high and work real hard. You'd be surprised what you could get once you start to believe in yourself. I've done things I never thought possible now in my life. Never. And I do it all the time. Every day, something that I never thought was going to happen to me happens. Last week, something happened to me I never thought would ever happen to me in my life. It happened. I'm telling you right now, and it's happening all the time. And you say, don't brag. I'm not bragging. I'm just trying to tell you this is the life you create with your mind. Push yourself. Believe in yourself. I have to be honest. Sweet doesn't look amazing. Look at it. I mean, it's like, looks like it's setting up for like a right shoulder dump or something. I mean, you know, total looks interesting, but I mean, look at the 5-day. It looks overbought. In the weekly, is the weekly turning? It's got a slight curve. It's okay. I don't know. It looks like it's making a shoulder head and another right shoulder at tweezer top. Show me a tweezer bottom of the weekly, and maybe we'll see something. But dang, yeah, I sold all these speculative coins. Everybody, they just, you know, the chain was fast. It's supposed to do this, but do what? Sell meme coins? Every chain that you know what I mean? You know, and again, it's not that I believe in certain altcoins. I still own a good amount of them. I'm not 100%, you know, but I'm not willing to over speculate anymore. They got to show me something. And again, you might over speculate, you know, and this thing might rip up and you might be like, okay, but let's be honest, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It'll be April of 2026. And it'll go up 3x. I'm not saying that. I mean, I'm just, you know, that's not bad. But I'd rather just wait for this market because it's going to break this chain. Then you're going to see a flag, and then boom. This is going to be a real simple swing trade that probably looks very high with high probability. And so that's what I'd like to take. Like I'd like to trade this. I'd like to see us initially come up, make the retest. See this? This is like, and then start to move. And then I want to start trading flags in here. You know what I'm saying? I started realizing, man, I'm just going to be more humble, take what I can out of swing trades in the good areas. I don't have to buy the bottom and wait my whole life, and I don't have to watch this whole thing go up and down. So if we have alt season again, I'm going to attack it differently, and my positions are going to be larger. I'm going to swing trade on them. And I'm still holding capital for that reason. So, like, I'm sitting in cash in a little tether still, too. For times when altcoins are, you know, and again, if too many people do that like me, then where's the cash going? You see what I'm saying? So altcoins indirectly are sidelining cash. Gold on the 6-month or the 12-month looks crazy. Still wanting to rip. Yeah. Let's take a look. And then there was individual stocks. Let's look at FARTCOIN. And thank you so much for the super chat from Duff, J Duff. J Duff 4936 asks, "Hey Lifer, thoughts on FARTCOIN?" Well, let's take a look, but let's take a look. Again, like a lot of other coins, the last 3 weeks for altcoins have been treachery. You know, even Bitcoin, if Bitcoin starts to rip again, if it were to, you know, I think dominance would be hype. I mean, I'm not saying this could go that level because that's probably a negative value. See, negative 34. But like, looks like it's going to at least come in double bottom at 19. Had a nice run since November. Went from 18 to 44. I mean, that ain't bad. But that's like, you 3X in altcoin. So people thought they were DCAing into another rally, right? Like this. Now they're not sure what's going on. Maybe it's a higher low. And the same thing is, maybe they made great moves. And maybe, maybe it skyrockets, man. And these were the greatest times to buy. Usually it is. I was buying all these fear moments. Not FARTCOIN, but, on whatever coins that I was buying the fear. And I held and I did the due diligence. And it didn't pan out like 80% of these coins. So some did. Some got pretty interesting. Some pumped. But, Bitcoin with the nasty dump to the downside. Smart move with with cutting my losses off there. Let's take a look at BTC. So it got rejected. It did not flag out. It made the right shoulder on the 5-minute and it dumped. Like we saw that, right? So 20 minutes have gone by since I looked at the right shoulder and said, that doesn't look good. And it did what it was supposed to do. I mean, that's the measured move. Now let's see, So I would move out of the small time frames. They can't be trusted recently because we don't have enough volume to keep them buoyant. They're like small boats in a big sea. You need a bigger boat, right? Now look, I mean, now you want to challenge. I mean, could that be a head and shoulder kind of? You need this to bounce, get tight to break out. You still need the 15-minute to break above the 200. And, look at price action. Just choppy. A lot of chop right now, too. Right? So I've been looking at options. I sat with a buddy of mine. He told me how to trade options somewhat yesterday and kind of broke it down. And it's simple. I mean, right? You trade options. Like IBIT. You'd say, okay, IBIT's $50. I believe by March, let's just say by St. Patrick's Day, or, it's not even on the chart, but let's just say by February 17th, February 12th, Thursday, I believe it'll be below $49. And that's going to cost you a certain amount of money to buy right now. Now, if it's more likely, right, it's probably going to be more expensive. It's less likely it's probably going to be cheaper. So if you make an amazing call that most people don't see and you pay very little for it, you're probably going to be in the money. So what happens is, this is what happens. As you get closer to the strike price, right, I believe the price can go up too. So say you call out, and this is a put or a call. A put, I believe, is if you think it's going to go down. And a call is if you think it's going to go up. So you make a call at 54. So you make a call at 54 for February 12th, saying you believe it's going to be over $54 by the or you make a put. Am I correct here? Plague, fear, and greed is more for Bitcoin. We could be agreed it's still all it's doing nothing. Yeah, I mean it's been a Bitcoin season, Someone says exactly. Sell puts for the premium. Sell puts when bullish. See what someone's saying? See, I don't know what they're saying there. See, everyone always, so it looks to me like if Bitcoin goes down, right, this will be lower. Like IBIT shares will. So like you could put a put here. And I guess as you get closer and closer, now if it happens, you could pay 80 cents for it. And then it might be like $3.20. And then you're going to 5x your money. If you put $10,000, you'll make $50,000. And what you're doing, you're selling a contract with the option to buy the stock at that price. That's all you're doing. They're contracts to buy things at certain prices. It's kind of crazy. They say that, again, they say the derivative market is over into the quadrillions. Isn't that crazy? Quadrillions in the derivative market. That's insane. I I made a bunch of cash on Tesla options. Interesting. So you can use TA to figure out where things are going. Hey, Sam, can you check micro technology? Micron technology? What is that? Micron technology. Units, Thailand depository. Micro technology. Yeah, on the NASDAQ here. MU. Wow, that thing is out of control. See, look. So, see? This thing was 330 on January 14th, just a week ago. And this thing is ripping. Again, you always want to assess it on the bigger time frame and see what's happening, but this is out of control. Look at it. I almost never seen anything like that. It was just $100. Wow. To me, that's oversold. It's going to come down. I would be selling that right now. I'd be selling into that sell pressure. I mean, into that buy pressure. But I mean, wow, it consolidated. Look, and this is why you buy when the candles are tight. When the 21 is that far from price and away from the 200, I feel like that's going to come crashing down. I'd pull a Fibonacci at least from there and say, hey, does it come back to the 618? Does it retest 250? Wow, that's amazing. Like, just amazing what I'm seeing here. Yeah, but it's got bearish div on the bigger time frames too as well. The daily, So if it's something crazy brewing, I guess it can consolidate on the daily, but I just, and then maybe go for one more leg, but the odds are very low. I feel like it would be a smart time to take profits if I was in this. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. Everyone's going to do what they want. But you can see my strategies playing out too here, just like inside of a flag, touching the 21. Breakout. On the 21, above the 200. Breakout. When you cross the 200 on the 1 hour, you're gone. Same things on the bigger and the smaller time frame. Semiconductors are played out. It's all about energy now. Yeah. Some coins are standing the test of time slightly. BitTensor has been okay, but not amazing. Like, look at it, even that. So, like, altcoins they look somewhat stressed. You know, Total 3 looks like it's hanging by a ledge on the 200 moving average on the 3-day, which is like its last resort. Okay. After that, I mean, so you don't stress. I mean, you can make money shorting this market. All right. There's going to be some good money. If Bitcoin decides to take that move to the downside, we can short. There's going to be nice little shorts all over the place. So have no stress. Have no fear. Just be open-minded that opportunities coming your way. You're going to be the one that sees it and takes advantage of it. That's all. And it's okay. It's going to be okay. One step, one day, one moment at a time. Right? Rome wasn't built in a day. Think about it. This is what I always like to think about. Someone's like, I want to get rich. Yeah, you want to get rich. But don't you want to progress into like a very high state of finance in a way? And somebody like, no, I just want a little bit of money. Just enough to get by. But me in my mind's like, yeah, why not? Like, I just want to do the best at anything I can do. So that means millions and billions. And if I'm going to get there, that's going to take some time. So I got to be patient on this journey, right? It's not always going to be constantly pumping. And the 50-minute got rejected by the 200. We came down. Yeah. See? That's why this game has been really ugly. And price, look, this is chop. Like, you've had to move up, move down. I mean, you can make money. That was actually a pretty good short if we look at, did the 1 minute lose the 200? It's about to. That could be a good place to enter a short too as well. So here's the deal. You decide what you are. Are you a day trader, swing trader, long-term investor? You got to decide those things. I'm a long-term investor when it comes to Bitcoin. 100%. Like, I know that, and I'm sticking to that. I'm a day trader when it comes to swing and leverage. You know what I mean? I like to get in and out. I don't like to long. And I'm a swing trader if the altcoins ever come back or there's something to speculate on, for sure. But it depends on the asset and the timing. And then so as a day trader, then I ask, well, when do I like to trade? And I'm like, well, I trade when the market gives me the highest probability. Flip this upside down now. I mean, you're looking similar idea. You cross the 200 moving average right now. You can look for the bear flag. And see if we can get a bear flag bid. But it definitely looks like we're going lower. 89,000 being challenged and about to pierce the veil. right? You can see this kind of looks like a, you got like shoulder, head, right shoulder vibes. Let's look at the bigger picture one more time, not to get caught up in the small time frames. So remember, we've been talking about a head short now for a couple of days. And remember, when I say the word head short, I don't always say it. So when I say it, always like peek up. You make, what? Hedge what? Huh? So like I flipped the chart and I've been looking at this idea. I mean, it's kind of a bull. It's a bull flag to me. That has a measured move to like 57,756. Resistance, you got to bounce. So the chance of becoming a self-made billionaire is extremely low, statistically close to 0, with odds around 1 in 7 million globally. Wow, that's pretty good, actually, if you think about it. Yeah. Like, ask what are the odds of having 100,000 subscribers on YouTube? What are the odds? In the whole world, what are the odds of having 100,000 subs on YouTube? Like, no, because everyone's like, I think people don't realize how you could do anything you put your mind to. You'll be the one person that broke those odds. You see what I'm saying? Like, you'll be the one that made it different. So, Bitcoin's attempting a tweezer bottom. It's saying, hey, there's a chance I could stick, so like for me, like I'd wait out the daily candle. If it starts to turn red, then I'd get in and front run a dump. Right? But this daily candle might just stall us out here for the bears just for a bit. We've got some previous support as resistance. We're kind of just sticking right there. At the same time, we're outside of the bigger channel. To me, that's a good place to short because you've already, we do have a wick to the downside already. And so like, I see no problem with opening a short here. I think it's the best. I think it's a good hedge. I think it's a smart thing to do. You do whatever makes you happy, but I think this is a smart thing to do. Right? If I was looking to make some money, I didn't have a bunch of other assets and I wasn't stacked up and I I basically didn't have a lot. I mean, a head short to me would make the most sense. You're outside of this trend line. You broke the trend line. For us to be bullish again, you have to break back. Like you gotta get back above here. You gotta hang out here. And yeah, you'll get stopped out. But proper risk management is key. So if you can't handle proper risk management, you won't be able to trade anyway. So it's up to you. There's no way you'll be consistent without a consistent proper risk management plan. Impossible. Yeah. But dang, I mean, we just lost 90K. It's just so crazy how fast price actions dumps, right? It's like, it's quicker than it used to be. Like a second you look up and then you're gone again. You're losing $1,000 in a second. Like we were just at 90K, possibly making a flag that could break out. And then you could see it was a right shoulder, said it was going to dump. And it did. Then we came down, retested the 200 and continued to dump. So, still hugging that tweezer bottom. There's a chance, you know what I mean? It's always like, but even this way, you can kind of like almost descending triangle this idea here. That's in a descending triangle. Could head to like 80,677 or something, right? So that just doesn't look good to me. PokeMap says you go to 86K. They got more liquidity to the downside. So if I had to tell you where we're going, it's saying we're going to dump today. And we're going lower. And we're back, we're below the 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame. That's also a short area, right? It tells you to short the market. And wow, now we're dumping. Oh my gosh. Next thing you know, you've already done a $2,000 move. It's just insane. Like, Bitcoin, man. But yeah, that's why it's good to use technical analysis. Like the TA said that we were going to dump based off that right shoulder. They're slanted too. Remember that. And it's kind of divergence. Like that's a high pitched high. That's not as high. I call that a Class C bearish div. So now you'd say, well, is it a good time to short now? We've already dumped a lot on the bigger time. You know, we're away from the 200 moving averages. And that's the issue too. People get cold feet to short the market. Even I do. After once you're looking at the market for so long, you're like, now I got to short it. But you got to get over that fear too. Otherwise, you can't make money shorting. So I'll be honest, man. Trading is one of the toughest things you'll ever do in your life. You know, you're going to get over all these different mental, you know, you'll have these ideas like, I can't, you know, it's hard. It's very hard. For me, there's so many things I had to get over as a trader, and I still work on every day. I am nowhere near perfect as a trader. If I was, I'd be lying to you. Okay? I do the best I can with what I know. And honestly, the market in my lifetime has been a lot easier to trade. In the last few weeks, it's been a lot harder to trade. It's been different. It's been more difficult. Even for the last year, really. Ever since, I'll be honest, Trump coin demolished the altcoins. Like it's been a different type of market. Yeah. It's been a way different type of market. Yeah, so it's telling me to take a short there on the 4-hour time frame with a stop above the 200 moving average. I mean, you got rejected by that. Every time I've seen us lose the 200 pretty harshly here, like with a rejection, like somewhat here, there. I mean, it ends up being a pretty good short to the downside. So, yeah, to me, it's you know, and again, the volatility's been crazy. I wouldn't be, you know, it's like it's been bouncy. And the volume's been light, but I had to say everything is bearish, and it's more likely you're gonna make money to the downside today than to the upside. You just gotta find your way into the trade. Use the moving averages, use a 1 hour. I don't know exactly what time frame you like the most, but yeah, price act. I mean that even looks like an Adam and Eve backwards, and that looks like it could take a dump to the downside. You see something like this, head down to what 86,000. So man. So I see 86K looks like the target, right? It looks like you're going to go lower, 84.5, even 80,000. And you can see 86K is on the board here on Bookmap too as well. And so, yeah, the shorts are having their way. We're moving to the downside. We're getting the dump, 81,191, right? So here, I mean, I got the stop loss above the 200 moving average on the 4. We're now up 121. We'll see what happens, you know. So I'm also now shorting the market because what can you do, right? If we dump to 80 to 73, make $8,000, we'll see what happens, right? I'll be, you know, I got a head short on this to see if it continues to dump, but it looks like it's getting nasty. So it is what it is, man. And it's yeah, you got to make the money no matter what, right? So, hey. Already back up on the loss there, 167. So now we're kind of like break even on the day. We'll see where this goes. And you can see this is even for me. You know, it's a lot of times I will tell you trading on days when the market has closed on Monday. I've noticed the whole week is kind of garbage. And I never want to say that because I don't want to like push people into being negative on the trading week. But many times in my life, I've seen it. They take Monday off of the market and it becomes one of the worst weeks to trade. Like everything just seems like it's in a rut or it doesn't work the same and it's kind of garbage. Liquidity doesn't flow. Things just don't seem the same. Sub Sammy, as a lurker of your channel of yours, I just want to thank you, brother. Thank you. That's very nice of you. God bless you. You didn't have to do that, but you did. That will come back to you tenfold. Someone's asked for CRVS Pharmaceuticals. Let's take a look at CRVS. And it's cool as the stock market's going to get tokenized soon. Wow, that thing just ripped. $8 on the 15-minute. Yeah, but people told me stay away from pharmaceuticals can be treachery. Well, yeah, it just went from $7 to $21. So that's a 3x on the market right there. You got to look at it on the smaller time frame. So look, see how it touched the 21 inside consolidation? See how it's bouncing off the 21-day moving average and the 200? That could be a move. That looks like it could continue to pump up to like 26.11. There's a chance. Not amazing, but there's a chance. Took my kids to the movies last night, had a blast. I was number one dad. It was really fun. What We went and saw Zootopia. It was what it was. It was actually a pretty good movie. Not too much woke stuff in there. So if you want to take the kids to a good movie, I thought Zootopia was all right. It passed my sniff test for a dad. You can take the kids. All right. Good time. They had fun. They got reclining seats now, right? They got a little table there in front of you. It's amazing. You know, and I told my daughter, I didn't go to reclining seats until later on. They had them later, but when I was a kid, they didn't have it. Maybe at a very special place, but not. Luxury seating started later on. Like 1985, 1989, I was 6 years old. They didn't have no luxury. They had the little wooden creaky seat, you know what I mean? I'm looking at my 4-year-old. The first time she ever went to the movie, she's sitting on a leather recliner. You know, it was so funny to me. Like but that's how it should be, man. The human race should be able to feel the nicer and the finer things of our ability to innovate, right? Like, hey, our ancestors slept on a straw mat on the floor inside of a brick, a mud hut. So there you have it. Bitcoin could go either way. I honestly know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I have some faith in that monthly, hidden bullish divergence, but it's tight. And I have to be honest, price action is at a very sketchy place. And it could go either way. I could see this V-shape recovering all the way back right now. Out of nowhere, just ripping right back to the upside. I could see it going sideways. Price action has been so difficult to figure out on the smaller time frames. I'm being honest with you. And when it does that, it's almost time to just use a bigger time frame or step away from the market until I see something better, and if it's difficult for me and I've been doing it for a long time, it just, trust me, that's just how the market is. And it's funny, I'll say that, and then one of my students will say, hey, I made the most money I made today than any other day. So like, hey, it might be a confusing day for me. Maybe I didn't get enough sleep last night. You never know. Maybe my subconscious mind doesn't have enough data stored and it's just not working correctly. But I see more downside below that 4 hours. If I had on anything, the 4 hour time frame is the one you want to go for. If this closes, that's going to close a bearish engulfing candle. All right. It's going to close a tweezer top. And we're below the 200 with the rejection. I feel like that could be a lower move. So, and I wouldn't be surprised if we did hit 86, something like that. So that's my last idea, is that I would be shorting below that 200 moving average on the 4 hour time frame. I would love it if I'm wrong and I get stopped out and we make it up, we make it through this. But I just, that's just what I see right now. But hey, you never know. Now the 1 minute looks like it could. The 1 minute looks like it's going to V-shape recovery. Like, it looks like it could rip all the way right back to the upside here. Look at the way the 5 minutes on a vengeance right back up again. I'll be honest, man. It's you saw me. I won one, I lost one, back and forth. Now, me losing or gaining $100 is kind of like, and so until I see something that I'm really going to sink my teeth into, I'm not going to just, chop myself around. I'm just going to wait. And it's hard to wait. That's that's the hardest part of trading, is sitting and waiting. Nobody wants to sit and wait. They want to make money now, but I'm supposed to make it now. I'm supposed to 10x now. I'm supposed to change my life now. Man, patience will, trading will teach you patience. Life will teach you patience. Any career you pick in life will teach you patience. No matter what you do, you are going to learn patience. I'm telling you right now. It's going to be what it is, what it is. Might as well set this right now. I think I had it a little too forward. But now I can't get myself in perfect way, and then I got to be way over there, I think. That should be good for tomorrow. That's exactly where I want to be. And then the camera peak. Just a V bit. There we go. That's even better there. Yeah. It's slanted now, but I'll fix all that. And the problem is, too, see, why am my head cut off here, though? Yeah, so I got to fix the way I'm doing that. There we go. That's perfect. Joanne, can you set that up right, Joanne? No, but that's good. Yeah, and I seem to be in great focus. Seems like the autofocus is working. If I have autofocus on, I believe it. Interesting. Huh. I don't even know what button I'm pressing there, but hey. So yeah, there. I think that was manual to auto, right? Because that's... And you have to lean back, and then you have to, like, attempt to get yourself right there. Yeah, there we go. Not bad, man. I'm loving the new camera, and I don't know why it took me so long to, like, just, you know, and this is my old camera. I shot this stream right now with this. I've been shooting the stream with this for years, folks. Years. It's actually still on. Funny. I've been shooting the stream with this camera forever. It's a Canon 80D. It came out in like 2015. This is a 10-year-old camera we've been shooting the stream on. But man, it still shoots 1080. It's still a good vlogging camera. Like, it still looks high-end if you put the right lens on it. If you know what you're doing, you can use anything that can, you know, you can put a lens in there. But, you know, the sensor's older. It's time to go. I love Canon, you know, and I bet they have even better cameras out now too. But really, you can't beat the Sigma lens. As long as you can put the lens on there, you're good. So I'll leave you with the short. It's up like $70. It's not amazing. It's been a tough day, but we'll see where this goes. $72 on the short right now. And yeah, right there. So, and we'll see. Now it's only 38. We'll see. It's a decent trade, $50,000 trade. It's $3,000 in it. What, 15x lev? So yeah, or 3,300 in it there. So it gives you that extra sauce. But we'll see, man. I can still see it going either ways. It's weird. But the fact that we're below the 4-hour 200 tells me likely more downside for Bitcoin. And if we get back above it, then hey, we have a chance to win again, and anything is possible. So there is some previous resistance here. There's some good support. Resistance. Like, it's kind of a strong area, but that was also strong. You know, that was a good one, and we fell through all of them. So hey, I guess I lose faith in the resistance, in the support there, but we'll see. And we can even do this, so just be careful. Just, you know, up and down before the bigger dump. You know, but I wouldn't be surprised if we just kind of start to let go soon and go to 86,000. So I'll post a short to the trading group, and I'll keep you guys up to date with what I'm doing. And yeah, I love you all. Thank you so much for jumping on in and being part of this awesome live stream. One other thing I want to show you, right, is I want to look at if there's any altcoins that are actually doing anything right now comparatively. Layer Zero's up 12%, up 15% in 24 hours. Interesting. MyX up 14%, back to 6 cents. And Canton. So there's still, you know, funny, lighter, right? That thing went all the way back to 169. Now it's up 5.9%. You know, maybe the airdrop got sold off or whatever happened there. People sell it off. And Render's holding $2, which is stronger than most. Zcash. One other thing I want to look at is Zebek Network. Zebek Network. ZBCN. We like Zebek. It looked cool. It looked interesting. It was on the radar. It was doing something that actually could do something. But you know, it's interesting. Like, all the speculation disappears in a week. It's like people are just like, no, I'm not doing that no more. Once the EU or the whole Greenland thing erupted just about 4 or 5 days ago, like, altcoins that were on, like, every altcoin that had a bit of a trajectory just completely just fell off the face of the earth, right? It just was like, it turned into, you know, it's crazy, man. So it's been tough, man. It's been tough, right? You think we go for Greenland? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I like the odds, less than 1%. I love this guy's positivity and general vibe. Glad I stumbled across the channel. God bless you. Thank you for saying that, man. Watch the Wolf of Wall Street show me a valuable lesson, and I'm using that advantage. Yeah. Might negate that double bottom. Yeah, sorry for my broken English. I'm from the Netherlands. Ignore the higher highs and the higher lows on the weekly, sir. Ignoring the higher highs and the higher lows on the weekly, sir. On the weekly? I see what you're saying. It looks interesting. But, man, Bitcoin just collapsed, man. And it just went down to 87,750, everyone. I mean, like, the short just pumped, the short just flew to the upside. So, I mean, now you're making gains if you took the short. All right. I looked at CRVS already. We looked at CRVS. I looked at CRVS. And we looked at it. That looked like it might continue to pump on that 1 minute there. Is that what it's doing, or you wanna see that? A little bit of a breakout now. It's battling the 200. You want to see if it can kind of like make a flag now and continue the move. Shout out to anyone that made gains in the short. Nasty short to the downside, 87,650. I'm going to move my stop loss to break into position. And there we go. Now we got some gains on the day. That thing is, that's a meltdown, right? That is a meltdown. I wouldn't be surprised if that bounces back pretty fast because it was such a nasty move. You know, moves that fast are pretty treacherous. But, you know, a collapse, I mean, you losing that 200 moving average. Look at that dump. 87.6, 87.550. Man, calling the dump for Bitcoin. 87,589, 629, letting it dump. They're sending that puppy to the downside, folks. Here we go, Bo. And there you go. Retail is nowhere to be found. Just press all of the lifer. Yeah, took the short up over 84A stop loss at break even. Yeah. 99 membership paid already for the short. Why would you not join? Thank you for saying that. Oh, look at this short going beautifully now. Look, I traded this same way. Look, I just flipped it upside down. I'm so funny, man. What are you doing to me now? Don't do that. Yeah, we're going to make sure we take it just like we take it the other way. Away from the 21, you got to take, you take your gains. We're going to lock in price action here. Wow, look at that, 87.5. And it's like you're going to go lower. I just take my gains when I can, man. But dang, what a dump for Bitcoin. And we just, we called it here on the channel too, and it happened. And it looks like it's going to go even, it looks like it could go lower. Like, technically, you could be like, this is the flag. You went in and out. And there you go. But I took my profits. Shout out to anyone that made gains with the lifer. We did something. Now I can actually take a lunch break and enjoy my lunch, man. My wife doesn't like to pay me unless I show her some gains. I got to show her the gains, baby. And we end the stream perfectly with a beautiful trade. So, hey, day trading with Sam Price every single day. Look, we just fought through a 2-hour session. We made more money than we lost. What are you going to do? And I made more money than I used to make at my old job, but I used to have to get there, go there, do all sorts of crazy stuff. So, everyone, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for jumping on in. I'm just making sure that the frame rate is right. I got to check. I love you. I appreciate you all. I'll see you all tomorrow. God bless each and every one of you for being here. Stay positive. Believe that something is coming our way. Look, something cool happened today. We got movement. We got volatility at the last second. It came our way. So, focus on the love, focus on the frequency, focus on raising your vibration every single day, becoming the best version of yourself. Stay hydrated, stay amazing, keep pushing, and never stop believing. You've got this. You can, you will, you are the best. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll see you all tomorrow for another beautiful live stream. I'll see everyone in the trading group that still kicks it with me. And just stay amazing, stay blessed. I love you. Thank you so much for each and every one of you supporting me. It's been an amazing live stream. Awesome time to be alive, man. And we got 1,000 people here, man. One of the best streamers in the game because you guys put me on the map. The only reason I'm a known streamer is because each and every one of you showed up for me. I'd be a known nobody if you guys didn't show up. And so even in these tough times, even in these hard times, I still get super chats. I still get people interacting. I still get comments. I feel so blessed every single day to be alive. Thank you, dear Lord, for this opportunity to be here. May I come back tomorrow even stronger, even better. And may I help more people learn how to trade this market. I love you. Have a great day. Stay blessed. Stay amazing. Thank you. God bless you all. Remember, the secret to success is getting started. You're not going to be you're not going to be great to start, but you got to start to be great, baby. You can, you will, you are the best. You've got this. I'll see you on the flip side.